Every year, 8 million people visit the Taj Mahal. They are told the same story, a story of love. A Mughal emperor named Shah Jahan who loved his wife so deeply that when she died in 1631, he spent 22 years and the labor of 22,000 workers building the most beautiful monument in the history of the world in her honor. It is a beautiful story. But what if it is not the whole story? What if the Taj Mahal, India's most iconic monument, visited by millions every year, printed on every tourism poster, recognized in every corner of the world, was not built by Shah Jahan at all? What if it already existed centuries before he was born? What if beneath its white marble floors, behind its sealed doors and bricked-up basement rooms that no visitor is allowed to enter, lies evidence of a history that the official story has spent centuries hiding? This is not a fringe theory. This is a question asked by historians, archaeologists, and a former Supreme Court judge of India. And it has never been fully answered, because the Indian government has never allowed the one thing that would settle it forever: a full independent archaeological investigation of what lies beneath the Taj Mahal. According to the official historical record, the Taj Mahal was commissioned in 1632 by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan as a mausoleum for his wife Mumtaz Mahal, who died in childbirth. Construction began in 1632 and was completed in 1653. It required 22,000 workers, 1,000 elephants, and materials brought from across Asia: white marble from Rajasthan, jade from China, turquoise from Tibet, lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, sapphires from Sri Lanka, carnelian from Arabia. The result is universally acknowledged as one of the greatest architectural achievements in human history. This is what every school textbook says. This is what every tour guide says. This is what the Archaeological Survey of India says. But the official story has some significant problems. Problems that grow harder to explain the more carefully you look at them. In 1965, an Indian historian named Purushottam Nagesh Oak published a book that caused a political earthquake in India. The book was called Taj Mahal: The True Story. Oak's central argument was this: the Taj Mahal was not built by Shah Jahan. It was an ancient Hindu temple palace called Tejo Mahalaya that had existed for centuries before the Mughal Empire arrived. Shah Jahan, Oak argued, did not build the Taj Mahal. He seized it from its Hindu owners and converted it into a mausoleum for his wife, placing her tomb inside an existing structure and ordering its Hindu elements covered, sealed, or destroyed. The Indian government immediately dismissed the book. It was banned for a period. Oak was ridiculed by the establishment, but his questions did not go away, because some of them have never been answered. The first problem with the official story is one of time. 22 years to build the Taj Mahal, 22,000 workers, completed in 1653. This timeline has been accepted without serious question for centuries, but architectural historians who have studied Mughal construction timelines from the same period have pointed out that other monuments commissioned by Shah Jahan, the Red Fort in Delhi, the Jama Masjid Mosque, took significantly longer to build with similar resources. The Taj Mahal, by comparison, appears to have been completed with extraordinary speed for its scale and complexity, unless much of it already existed. The second problem is architectural. The Taj Mahal contains elements that are inconsistent with Mughal architectural tradition. The lotus, a sacred Hindu symbol, appears throughout the Taj Mahal's decorative scheme: on the marble inlay work, on the ceilings, on the fountains, on the gates. The lotus has no place in Islamic architectural tradition. It is one of the most sacred symbols in Hinduism and Buddhism. The main dome of the Taj Mahal sits on a base structure that architectural historians have identified as consistent with the style of Hindu temple construction from the 12th and 13th centuries, not with Mughal construction from the 17th century. The third problem is documentary. A letter exists, written by the European traveller Johann Albert de Mandelslo, who visited Agra in 1638, 6 years after construction was supposedly begun. His detailed account of Agra makes no mention of the construction of any major monument. In a city where 22,000 workers were supposedly transforming the skyline, a European visitor making detailed notes of everything he observed noticed nothing. The fourth problem is the rooms. Beneath the Taj Mahal, there are rooms, not one or two utility spaces. Dozens of rooms spread across multiple levels beneath the main structure, many of them sealed with brick, many of them locked, many of them never opened to independent investigators. The Archaeological Survey of India has acknowledged their existence. It has never provided a satisfactory explanation for why a mausoleum built to house two tombs requires dozens of sealed underground chambers. In Hindu temple architecture, multi-level underground chambers are a standard feature, used for ritual purposes, for the storage of sacred objects, and for the housing of subsidiary deities. In 1978, a petition was filed in India's Allahabad High Court requesting permission for an independent archaeological team to investigate the sealed rooms beneath the Taj Mahal. The petition was dismissed. In 2000, historian P.N. Oak filed a petition in India's Supreme Court requesting that the sealed rooms be opened and independently examined. The Supreme Court dismissed the petition without ordering any investigation. In 2015, members of the Indian Parliament raised the issue formally in the legislature, requesting that the government commission an independent study of the Taj Mahal's origins. The government declined. In 2017, the Uttar Pradesh state government, in whose jurisdiction the Taj Mahal sits, appointed a fact-finding committee to investigate claims about the monument's origins. The committee's findings have never been made public. Every official response to requests for investigation has been the same: dismissal, deflection, or silence. Not refutation, not evidence, not a counter-argument, silence, and the rooms remain sealed. In 2000, a small but significant piece of evidence emerged: wood samples from a door of the Taj Mahal, a door that the official timeline places as original to the 1632 construction, were submitted for carbon dating by researchers at the University of Purdue in the United States. The carbon dating results place the wood at approximately 1450 AD, nearly 200 years before Shah Jahan was born. The Archaeological Survey of India disputed the methodology and did not commission an independent verification. The results were never formally incorporated into the official record. They were simply set aside. If the carbon dating is accurate and the methodology used was standard and peer-reviewed, then there is wood in the Taj Mahal that is 200 years older than the structure is officially supposed to be. That requires an explanation that has never been given. 8 million visitors every year. They photograph the white marble. They read the love story on the information boards. They buy the miniature replicas at the gift shops. And beneath their feet, behind bricked-up doorways and sealed wooden doors and locked chambers that no independent investigator has been allowed to enter, the real history of the Taj Mahal waits in the dark. Maybe the official story is true. Maybe Shah Jahan built it exactly as the textbooks say. Maybe the sealed rooms contain nothing more significant than storage spaces and utility chambers. Maybe. But in a country that prides itself on the transparency of its democracy, in a nation that has spent decades re-examining the injustices of its colonial history, the refusal to allow an independent investigation of its most famous monument raises a question that will not go away. What are they afraid of finding? Open the rooms. Commission the investigation. Let the evidence speak. India's history does not need to be protected from the truth. It needs to be reunited with it. This is India Untold. Subscribe, because the next video asks an even harder question.